Mount Panorama is back in Gran Turismo 7, and for us amateur players of this game is quite a challenge to go around and not die in it. So in this video I will show you how to take a proper lap with the hard tires, the ones you are actually going to use for racing, and avoid ending up like this. Also, you will learn some fuel saving tactics because this is a fuel saving race, and I have news for you. The fuel map will be your last choice. We are with the Ferrari 458 Italia from Group 4 that is one of the most balanced cars in terms of pace and fuel saving. Now a quick note, this is a push lap, there is no fuel saving, so you know how to tackle. Let's begin with turn 1, that is the first important corner. For this you have two brake references, the end of the building on the left or 20 meters before that post on the right. Brake hard for a bit and after the 50-meter board turn while trail braking. Now this is important, practice accelerating as fast as you can using as much track on the way out. For that you will need to reduce your apex speed. I will show you why. Check the speed. On the example I went a little faster, but that meant I was understeering a bit, which delayed my exit and my throttle input. So keep that in mind when taking this corner. We reached turn 2. For this, check the 100-meter board as a reference. The end of the tarmac is where you should brake. Do it on a straight line and then trail brake a little bit as you turn. Pause for a second and accelerate as you are at the middle of the curb. For this turn, it's important to keep the steering angle even when you are accelerating, and to be patient with the throttle. If you underestimate your steering, you will go wide on exit and touch the wall, losing speed. So keep that in mind taking this corner. Now we are climbing. For this next composed turn, use the change of color on the right barrier as a turning point. As you pass the apex and are able to see the boards in front, brake on a straight line at about 50% pressure. Then you can let the car coast using all the banking and aiming to be close to the wall. At the apex, accelerate progressively, opening your steering angle so you can be next to the right wall on the exit and remain there for the next corner that is simply flat out. For turn 6, you need to keep in mind two references. First is the tree on the left, that is your turning point, and second is the right post of the board ahead. The point where it touches the ground, that is your apex. You can take it flat out if there is no car in front of you. Just practice your entry angle to avoid the wall. Then turn 7 is flat out, and for turn 8 you need to stick to the right in preparation to make the corner. As you're about to reach the curb, go off throttle at about 10% and go back to 100% as you pass it. That is to avoid the wall on exit. Next is the tricky turn 9. The beginning of the right curb is your reference to go off the throttle and turn the car. Go off it completely as you are turning, and as you're approaching the left curb, accelerate progressively and stick to the wall as much as you dare, and same with the exit curb. For this next sequence of downhill corners, we are going to brake a little bit before the Audi board, and we are going to keep it at 30% pressure, aiming to draw a straight line without going over the track limits. Here I will make an emphasis on the downshift time, because of the weight transfer. In this mistake, I downshifted to 4th early, making the weight go to the front, making the car lose grip on the rear tires, resulting in a spin. Now back to the guide. As we pass the grass on the left, we increase braking to 50% to make this right-hander close to the wall. Then tap the throttle a little bit and brake again, still on 3rd, aiming to put the white line on the middle, and once you pass it, go full throttle. For turn 17, we are going to use the change of colors on the right barrier to brake a little bit and stay close to the wall. As you have made this corner, let the car coast, and as you are able to see the Falcon sign in front, brake on a straight line. Doing it at 50% is going to be okay to ride the inside, and start accelerating once you see the Falcon boards on the right. Here again, it's important to keep in mind the weight transfer. If you brake too much or try to turn while braking, you can make the car spin like this. Now we are going to fast forward to the last chicane, where we are using the 150-meter board to brake just as we pass it. And as you pass the 50-meter board, trail brake and turn. Try to stay close to the left curb, but don't ride it. Here I miss it, so I lose time. Then accelerate at full, being careful not to touch the grass. Now for the last corner, use the tree on the far right as a brake marker. Brake as it leaves your screen. Again, do it hard, and as you reach the post after the 50-meter board, go off the brakes progressively and turn. Try to accelerate as early as you can, but no further than the apex. And there you have it. That is a decent lap around Mount Panorama in the hard tires. Now let's talk about fuel saving. For that, I can give you 4 tactics in order of utility. The first is short shifting. That is upshifting before the car hits its rep limiter. Do it around 70 to 60%, and this reduces the fuel consumed, but it doesn't compromise the exit speed out of the corners. That is very important. This is the main tactic that you should use throughout the race. The second one is lifting and coasting. For this tactic, you need to go off the throttle way before the braking zone and let the weight and the aerodynamics brake the car for a bit, and then brake a little bit past your usual braking point. For example, in turn 2, instead of braking at the end of the tarmac, you leave the throttle at the 150-meter board and brake later at the 50-meter board. That way, you use less fuel and still don't compromise apex speed. However, I recommend using this tactic if you're clear at about 1 second from a car behind. Otherwise, it could end up in a dive. Third is using the advantage of the slipstream, especially if you are close enough to the car in front on the back straight. As you don't have the usual air resistance, your engine doesn't have to work as hard to accelerate. At the slipstream, you can short shift more or even use the fuel map, and you will still maintain and gain speed. Now, as a last resource is the fuel map. I do not recommend it as it's going to compromise your acceleration and top speed, therefore losing tons of time. You can use it if you're following a slower car to the top of the mountain or if you're under the slipstream. But if you use the before mentioned tactics, you will not have any problems with the fuel for the race. Well, this is it from me. I hope you find this information useful, and if you did and want to support the channel, leave a like and subscribe. That will help a lot. This was Combi Driver, and remember to be patient with your progress. Keep improving and have fun. I will see you next time.